What are acids? Well, according to Arrhenius concept, those substances which donate hydrogen ion are called acids. For example, consider hydrochloric. We know that hydrochloric can donate hydrogen ion, so we say that hydrochloric is an acid. Now, how can we learn the list of famous acids? Well, to learn this, let me teach you my personal trick. I always say ABC cannot start homework properly. Here, A stands for acetic acid, B stands for boric acid, C stands for citric acid, C stands for carbonic acid, N stands for nitric acid, S stands for sulfuric acid, H stands for hydrochloric acid, P stands for phosphoric acid. So this is the list of all important acids which we study in the chemistry. Here, let me teach you one important point. Remember that all these acids have hydrogen ion. Let me repeat it. All these acids have hydrogen ion. So hydrogen ion is the best indicator of acid. Thus also noted down this important list of acids. The second main topic is, what are bases? Well, according to Arrhenius concept, those substances which can donate hydroxide ion are called bases. For example, consider sodium hydroxide. We know that sodium hydroxide can easily donate hydroxide ion, so we say that sodium hydroxide is a base. Now, how can we learn the list of important bases? Well, I use my personal trick. I always write metals plus hydroxide ion always form bases. For example, consider group 1 elements like sodium, potassium, rubidium. Consider group 2 elements like magnesium, calcium, and group 3 elements like iron, copper, zinc. Now with group 1 elements, I write hydroxide ion like sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, rubidium hydroxide. With group 2 elements, I write 2 hydroxide ion like magnesium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, and with group 3 elements, I also write 2 hydroxide ion like iron hydroxide, copper hydroxide, zinc hydroxide. So all these metals containing hydroxide ions form important bases. Thus this is the list of all important bases. Here, let me teach you one important point. Remember that all the bases have hydroxide ion. Let me repeat it. All the bases have hydroxide ion. So the hydroxide ion is the best indicator of bases. Thus noted down this important trick. Now coming to the third topic. What are salts? Well, when acid plus bases react together, they form salt. For example, hydrogen chloride plus sodium hydroxide react together to form sodium chloride plus water. Remember that here the metal part of the base like sodium and the negative part of acid like chlorine, they will react together to form a salt like sodium chloride, while the hydroxide ion of the base and the hydrogen ion of the acid would react together to form water. Remember that this whole reaction is known as neutralization reaction. Now how can we remember the important salts? Well, metal plus ions usually form salts. Consider this cat. I always say that, cute cat, so nice. C stands for chloride ion like potassium chloride. C stands for carbonate ions like calcium carbonate. S stands for sulfate ion like magnesium sulfate. N stands for nitrate ion like sodium nitrate. So if metal contains chloride ion, carbonate ion, sulfate ion or nitrate ion, they are usually the salts. So remember this important trick about salts. Also, let me teach you one bonus question. How to identify acids, bases and salts? Well, consider this list. Now we know that acids contain hydrogen ion, base contain hydroxide ion, and salt contains metals plus ions. So this is acid, this is base, this is salt, this is also base, and this is salt. Thus, using this trick, we can easily identify acids, bases, and salt.